The New York Jets were linked to yet another pass rusher. We're going to talk about it today. What's going on? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today I want to get into yet another pass rusher that the Jets have been linked to. Before we get started, Matt O'Leary on socials. Make sure to follow along there. And also check out the Just Jets podcast. New episodes drop every Wednesday, and you could call in and leave me your questions to get answered on the show. So Sports Illustrated listed their 10 best remaining free agents. Number one on that list is pass rusher Yannick Ngakoue, and the best fit, the New York Jets. Now, some would find that a little bit surprising, myself included, just because of the number of the pure edge rushers that the New York Jets already have on their team. We're going to go through that in a little bit, but first, let's just talk about Yannick Ngakoue, who honestly has been someone who's been linked to the New York Jets for years, it feels like, and maybe more so by fans over the, early on in his career. It just seemed like every single offseason, and Yannick is still only 28 years old. It feels like he's been in the league forever, but it always, when he was with Jacksonville and then he gets moved and ends up with the Raiders, and then he was with Indianapolis this past year, that name is just one that always seems to come up with the New York Jets. Similar to, who was it? Vic Beasley. That was another one who just seemed to always have a link to the New York Jets. But as a pure pass rusher, this guy puts up big sack numbers pretty much every single year. 9.5, 10, 8, 9.5, 12, 8 sacks in his career. So at an absolute floor, he's going to give you 8 sacks. Pressure numbers, 44 pressures this past year, 62 in 2021, and then 42 pressures. So over the last 3 years, has been putting up 40 plus pressures every single year. You have to know what you are getting if you are signing up for Yannick Ngakoue, though. If you are looking for someone who is even remotely passable against the run, do not sign Yannick Ngakoue. He is terrible, might be putting it lightly. He is horrendous against the run. So much so that over the last 5 years, he has missed 20% of his tackles or more each of the past 5 years. So do not essentially, and the Jets wouldn't be in a position, we'll go through where their depth chart looks right now. If you are looking for just a pure pass rusher, yeah, at this point in his career, I would say he is definitely more like you put him in on third down and let him get after the quarterback. But I don't want him on the field in early downs. And, again, we can get into a potential, fit if it works, if it wouldn't. But again, really good at getting after the quarterback, just finds a way to get home. Terrible against the run, like just brutal against the run. He's supposedly seeking a multi-year deal, which it's kind of hilarious. At this point in the offseason, you can seek whatever you want, but you're more than likely not getting a multi-year deal in the offseason at this late. We're in June now, heading into training camp. It would be very surprising if he got signed to a multi-year deal. I get it. He's been kind of given the prove it 1 year deals the last little bit here, but unfortunately, I don't really see that changing going into 2023. And now for the New York Jets, this is their depth right now that they have at edge rusher. Lawson, McDonald, Clemens, JFM, Jermaine Johnson, Bryce Huff. That is a really, really deep unit. Now, we talked a little bit about earlier in the week because Jeff Ulbrich, the New York Jets defensive coordinator, has talked about potentially moving Clemens and JFM inside more. Clemens has put on an additional 20 plus pounds of muscle, though. Not like he's just ate himself to 290. He still looks like an absolute animal. And JFM, as we saw early in his Jets career in 2020, extremely productive on the inside. He's someone who could play either edge or on the inside as a rusher from the interior defensive line. But even with moving those guys inside, you kind of want Lawson, McDonald, Johnson, and Huff to get their more reps. I think that was one of the bigger critiques, I guess, of this defensive line rotation last year. And again, it's not Clemens and JFM are not going to exclusively play on the inside. That is more in pass rushing situations because you still have guys like Quinnen Williams who's got to be out there, a lot. He's the best player on the defensive line by far. He has to play a significant amount of snaps. You signed Al Woods, who is your run-stopping interior player. he's got to be out there on early downs. Quentin Jefferson is someone else who you added to this team and is a good player from the interior. Maybe Tanzel Smart makes it. I liked what we saw from Tanzel. You have Solomon Thomas, which I don't necessarily love, but it's not like JFM and Clemens are exclusively going to play inside. So I find it a hard time trying to find this spot for Yannick Ngakoue. I like him as a pure edge rusher. Again, I mentioned it. He's been linked to the Jets for years, it feels like, but I don't know if I see it. He's kind of filling the role that you'd expect Bryce Huff or rookie Will McDonald to play. Like, I don't think rookie Will McDonald is a starter on this team, which is fine, but second and long and third down and obvious passing situations, he's going to be on the field and asked to, pin his ears back and go. And I get it. Maybe that's asking a lot of someone like Will McDonald, who's a rookie. And you say, hey, I want to add the veteran who's been there and done that and proven that he knows, how to just get after the quarterback. But I don't know. I don't know about this one. Would it be the most surprising thing? No, because we have seen how much this team and specifically Robert Saleh and Ulbrich, really beat home how much they value pass rush and speed on the edge. So it wouldn't be the most surprising thing, but I just have a hard time finding him a spot on this roster. Let me know your thoughts on Yannick Ngakoue down in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.